So I've noticed a trend lately that, for the sake of this video, I'm going to call real fiction. Sort of real with quotation marks around, so real fiction. It's fiction, it's still stories, and it's obviously made up, but it's more realistic. It takes place in sort of like small town USA, someplace that's not New York or Los Angeles or one of the bigger metropolises or overseas. I mean, I'm sure you can find examples of this that also happen to take place in small town England or small town France, or small town wherever. But the examples that I've seen and that I'm going to use are things that take place more often in small town USA, but like someplace that's not a major metropolis. The plot is mostly character driven by people who are dealing with things that you or I could deal with in real life. Things like a parent dying or cancer. Clearly these are emotionally heightened circumstances, and they're obviously good choices for drama and dramatic things. They're also not a spaceship crash landing in your backyard, or body switching with your second cousin twice removed. It's stuff that could actually happen in real life and does actually happen to real people. Which isn't at all to say that the fantasy, sci-fi, supernatural trend is a bad thing. I love it. I think it's great. But I have started to notice a trend of things outside that realm, which is actually really great to see. I think that these smaller scale stories tend to be much more heartfelt and more relatable to a lot of people. So I really like that this is happening. And I mean, just to name a few of these things, I'll say movies like This Is Where I Leave You, a movie that deals with four siblings and their family dynamics as they're trying to put together a funeral and deal with their father's death. I don't know much about this movie. I don't know much about what the story is going to be, but I feel like the upcoming movie Men, Women, and Children is going to fit into this category fairly nicely. I think from what I've seen of The Judge with Robert Downey Jr., I think that one is also going to fit into this category. And I would say The Fault in Our Stars is fitting into this category. And in the end, it's still fiction. It's all fiction. These characters are still going to have better timing and better zingers, like better words to say. They're gonna know exactly when to say them. It's always gonna be fiction. But I think there's something to be said for stories that need a little bit less of a leap to get into them. A little bit less suspension of disbelief, and a little bit more of a grounded plot and grounded characters. So I'm happy to see that. So how about you guys? Are there any examples of this trend that you guys are seeing in books or movies or TV shows or comic books or whatever? Probably not in comic books. There's a lot of superheroes there. That I didn't mention. I'm sure there's tons, but I would love to hear about it, and I'd love to see what it is. Yeah. So let me know in the comments, like this video if you liked it, and subscribe.